Hi, everyone, and welcome to Soul Talk with Sonia. I'm Sonia. And so today we're going to do part two of the mind, and I want to go into more details. So, what I'll do is recap what we talked about last week. But first, I'm going to give you the three bullet points of what we're talking about today. So, we're going to talk about anxiety and how anxiety, 98% of the time, is self inflicted. We're going to talk about distracting thoughts, and then we're going to talk about how to discipline your mind and give you more concrete ways to do that. So, one of the tactics of the devil, and he doesn't have any new tactics because the old stuff works for him. So, what he uses on us is nothing new. But, I asked this question: what is one of the biggest challenges people have in life? Some may say being a single parent, working, work life balance, kids. There are a lot of answers I get when I ask this question. But the answer is the mind. So, one of my acronyms for the mind, which is in my book, which is coming out next month, is Master, I Need Directions. So, we all need directions of what to do in our lives, what next steps to take. And so, because the devil wants you off a purpose, off of your path, he's going to use distractions. He's going to use anxiety, fear, all of these tools of the mind to get you off course. So, with anxiety, the definition of anxiety is worrying about the future. And a lot of times it's self inflicted, I say, because we don't stop the thoughts. So, again, it's not you sending the thoughts, the negative thoughts, self doubting thoughts, or negative self talk. It's the enemy. You have no control over the thoughts that come, but you do have control over letting them stay. So, what people do with anxiety is they worry about the future, they do the what ifs, right? And so, also with social anxiety, people hinder themselves from going places because they'll say, what if I go here? I don't know anybody. What if I go here and people start laughing at me? So, once they finish doing all of that spiraling, they don't go. They talk themselves out of it. You can talk yourself out of a job, out of a new relationship, a friendship, because of the negative thoughts, because of the what if and future stuff. So that's what anxiety is. So one of the tools I gave you was to wear a rubber band. And anytime you have a negative thought about someone else or about yourself, you pop the rubber band and you reframe it. This is a behavior technique. This is a therapy technique. This is not something I'm just making up out the blue. It does work. And again, it changes the front part of your brain, which is the think tank, the part that analyzes, problem solves, um, works on conflict resolution. That's the front part. Okay. And then you reframe. So again, if an example of thought, it could be, what if I go and no one likes me? So then you will pop the rubber band and say, you know what, this is an opportunity for me to meet new people. I'm going to go, I'm going to stay 30 minutes. I'm going to make myself talk to people. I'm going to be friendly. I'm going to engage, and everything's going to be good. Whatever you speak will manifest, right? So that's why the Bible says the power of life and death is in the tongue. The miracle is under your nose, it's in your mouth. So it's what you speak. But in order for you to speak positive things, it all starts here. So that's one tool that will help with anxiety. You will notice you will begin popping the rubber band a lot at first. That's okay. But the more you're conscious and self aware of the thoughts, the less you need to pop the rubber band. So I promise you, you will start decreasing in the popping. Okay? So that's anxiety, worrying about the future. And then if, those that are watching, if you're Christians, the Bible tells us in Matthew 6:23 through 30, don't worry about your life. But people do the opposite. Christians, let's talk oxymoron. How does a Christian have an anxiety disorder? See, that's the devil. Putting all this worry, doubt, fear into you, and you have to use the word and trust God. So that's going to be the next video that we talk about relationship with God. Okay, so that's anxiety. Just want to give you a snippet of that. Oh, before I move on, here's the thing about anxiety that no one's going to tell you. Anxiety can go away. There is a cure for anxiety, and the cure is this: is stopping those thoughts. So we're going to talk now about distracting thoughts, because not all thoughts are future based. Negative thoughts are future based. Some are just thoughts that are not good or bad. The devil just sends thoughts to you that are one after another after another. So good, again, not good or bad, they're just distracting thoughts. So what I want you to practice, and we're going to do it now, is just being quiet. So a lot of times people say, I can't quiet my mind. They make it sound like it's impossible. That's not true. That's another trick of the enemy. Because here's his tactic. If you have a bombardment of thoughts, then it's hard for you to hear God speaking to you. Or you have problems discerning whose voice it is. So we know the devil's voice is negative and loud. Your voice is just your normal voice that you hear, your inner voice. And God's voice is very quiet, can be softer than a whisper. And God will also speak to your spirit. And there are other ways God speaks to us: through trials, through his word, through angels, through dreams, through visions, through a prophet. So other ways he speaks to you. So what we're going to do right now is just practice. We're going to do 5 seconds of just being quiet. So if you can, and a thought may come, just let it pass. Don't think about the next thought. Just let it pass like cars pass on the street. So if you can close your eyes with me, take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Deep breath in again and slowly exhale. Last one, deep breath in again. As you slowly exhale, picture the number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now open your eyes. Okay. So hopefully in that 5 seconds, you weren't thinking about anything. You were able to picture the numbers. So this time, we're going to do the same thing with deep breathing. This time, I'm not going to count out loud. I'm just going to be quiet for 5 seconds, okay? If a thought comes, just let it come, let it pass. Don't judge yourself. Don't be mad. Don't be disappointed because you had thoughts, right? You're a human being. You're going to have thoughts. But we're learning slowly how to quiet the mind. Okay, close your eyes with me again, please. Take a deep breath in. Slowly exhale. Deep breath in again. And slowly exhale. Deep breath in again. And slowly exhale. Now you can open your eyes. That was 5 seconds. So I'm just teaching you how to quiet the mind, because it's very important after you pray to be quiet to see what God has to say to you. So try 5 seconds. Next week, 10 seconds, 15, and then just keep increasing by 15-second intervals, okay? Or 5-second intervals, whatever works for you. And so I'm just teaching you how to quiet the mind and how to discipline the mind. There will be times, I warn you, because this happened to me, where I'm like, okay, I got this. My mind is disciplined, it's quiet. I have no trouble falling asleep. I'm sleeping through the night. If I get up 2, 3 in the morning, I can go right back to sleep. The devil will come and disturb that. Why? Because his goal is to get you off purpose, to get you sleepy, lethargic, irritable, agitated. He wants your peace. He's a thief, right? He wants whatever you have that's good, he wants it. Okay, so the next point I was going to give you, so we talked about anxiety, disturbing thoughts, or not disturbing, but thoughts that just bombard your mind, so they're not good or bad, just distracting thoughts. And then I want to teach you mindfulness. And This wasn't, I was looking at my notes in my plans, but this is what I'm about to do. Mindfulness is what you're doing right now. The definition of mindfulness is to be in the present. So hopefully, as you're watching the video, you're not doing anything else. You're giving me focused attention. With mindfulness, you're not judging the moment. You're just in the moment, present, aware. So that's another definition of mindfulness: present and aware. It's called the practice of mindfulness because you have to practice doing it. It doesn't come naturally. So this will also help with anxiety, distracting thoughts. Okay, so I want to give another definition. I talked about undisciplined mind. So let me define that. I talked about that in the last video. I just want to recap. Undisciplined mind is when your mind goes from one thought to the next without any pause. Your mind is not getting any peace. It's a bombardment of thoughts or ruminating thoughts. That's another term you can use. So what will help with the bombardment of thoughts, ruminating thoughts, the mind being undisciplined is mindfulness. So the practice of mindfulness. Okay, so we define that to be in the present. You're not thinking about the future, you're not thinking about the past, you're fully present. So some examples of mindfulness is when you're cooking and there's a new recipe. So you're like, okay, to get butter, oil, cheese, and you get those ingredients and you get what you need, your pan, spatula, and you'll just focus on that. Okay, so a cup of butter. Okay, that's a stick of butter. I'm getting that. Just focus. Nothing can come in because you're so focused on what you're doing, totally in the present. Another example of when you're practicing mindfulness is when you watch one of your favorite TV shows, when you're talking to a friend, when you are taking a test. So, what mindfulness is not is on your phone and say, oh my goodness, does anybody see my phone? I can't find it anywhere. It's right here. Or you have your keys in your hand, or you just put them in your purse. And I know, where did I just put my keys? They're in your purse. Okay. Or you're driving and you miss your exit because you're thinking about something else. Totally miss your exit. Or you're driving home. Do you know people will pass their own house because they're thinking about something else? So these are examples of what mindfulness is not. So this helps anxiety, these undisciplined thoughts, ruminating thoughts. So this is how you practice mindfulness. So let's say, give you some examples of how you can practice your driving. So once you get in the car, I'm going to put on my seatbelt, looking at the mirror, outside the mirror, nothing is coming, putting the car in reverse, and you're saying these things, say it silently or out loud. Then when you first practice mindfulness, it's good to say it out loud. Okay, I'm putting the car in reverse, I'm backing out, I'm seeing your body, and then you just notice what you see. Now you're on the main street, you notice Chick-fil-A, you notice the gas station, there's Target, oh, they're painting that plaza. And you just notice things. You notice red Toyota, blue Honda, white Camry. You just notice things. When you're doing this, it's hard for the thoughts to bombard your mind. First, it's going to seem very weird. It's going to seem very awkward. You are also going to notice how much you're not in the present. This is okay. It's all observations. So practice it daily. When you are driving home, you get in the house, I'm putting in the alarm code, I'm opening the door, I'm walking in. Boy, I need to clean up. Okay, so now I'm going to change clothes. I'm changing clothes. Now I'm about to go and cook dinner. I'm opening the refrigerator. I'm getting out some chicken. I'm getting out some lettuce. And then you proceed to cook. You're just paying attention to what you're doing. So these are some settings, just give you examples. But you want to practice mindfulness every day with everything you're doing. And don't get discouraged because, again, it's going to seem weird at first. You may be in the present 1 minute and have something else on your mind the next minute. And that's okay. So just be patient with yourself. This is important that we're talking about the mind because this is where the devil gets us. Okay? Have us thinking things that are not even true. You can go on a whole rant about something just by thought. So, for example, Anne's husband's been coming home late lately. She's noticed it. 1 week, 2 weeks now, it's been a month. So she's been watching the Housewives where everybody's man on there is cheating, a boyfriend cheating. So she gets this idea from the devil that, you know what, I think my husband's having an affair. She calls her girlfriend in tears because she has allowed the devil to convince herself that he is cheating. So she decides to confront him. And meaning she's going in. And this is a constant thing. She's been confronting him a couple of days now. He finally gets tired of it and says, you know what? This is what I've been doing. I've been planning you a surprise birthday party. Here, look, see. All from one thought. That's not even true. What the devil does, he plants a seed, a bad seed. And then he leaves the scene. And now you have blood on your hands because of the thought you allowed him to have you to believe to be true. Okay. So I just want to encourage you to practice disciplining your mind. You have power. Take your sleep back. Take your thoughts back. Again, this is important because you need to be able to hear from God, especially after you pray, and just daily being able to hear from Him. If you have a bombardment of thoughts, how are you going to do that? And you definitely need to hear from God concerning the man you're interested in or you're courting. Okay. So thank you for joining Soul Talk with Sonia, and I hope you join me again. Be blessed.